The following is an original Livin' podcast.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very newest episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. As always, I'm Elijah Leonard here with you, and to the bottom, that is Slifer, and to my right here on the screen, well, very familiar face. We haven't seen him since, at the beginning of any show in quite some time. I obviously can't really pinpoint it. I don't know if Sly can either, but Stapleton is currently out getting a drink, but we got Slifer in here. Sly, what's going on, man? How we doing?
I'm about as hot as I forgot which driver it was that had a malfunctioning cooling shirt again. But no, I'm doing pretty good.
And I'm even trying to remember who had that issue with the cooling shirt. I think it might have been
was it Blaney?
It might have been Blaney. Could have been Blaney. But, well, Sly, I'm sure Stapleton will be here eventually, so he'll definitely chime in when he has the chance. But, Sly, I think there really isn't too much to dissect here. Let's go ahead and just jump right in. We knew from the very beginning that this was going to be an SVG redemption tour after what happened to him last week at Naval Base Coronado, and obviously literally dominated the weekend by storm. He won the pole for the O'Reilly's race and took home the win on top of that as well. Led it all a race high of 66 laps out of the 79 that were scheduled. And then for Cup, this is actually kind of crazy to even say this because we were looking at the qualifying results for the Cup side, and it was shocking to see that SVG was not starting on the pole. Instead, it was Ty Gibbs that out-qualified guys like SVG. You even got Connor Zilic in there. I mean, Briscoe was up there as well. Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar. I mean, it's pretty insane to see that now that he's starting to show up on these road courses. But SVG started sixth in the race and dominated this race as well. Led a race high of 74 of the scheduled 110 laps. Ty Gibbs, of course, was also strong and led the second most laps of 31. But
Stages.
I mean, won both stages on top of that too. So that's another thing that we got to point out. But Sly, and again, Stapleton will chime in when he has the chance, but we all knew, and I'll say it again, we all knew that this was going to be an SVG redemption tour when it came to Sonoma. Too. And of course Zilic, because Zilic was also pretty strong this weekend as well. Not as strong as SVG, of course, but
close enough in the O'Reilly. But
definitely as close as he can get in the O'Reilly Series. Cup, I mean, you just knew that he was going to finish inside of the top 10 here at Sonoma. But what's your thoughts on this weekend? What did you think?
A lot of shocking moments. I know we'll talk some later, but Hamlin, Briscoe, Chase. If he had a couple more laps, he could have ran down SVG. Scary, crazy as it sounds, he could have wouldn't necessarily maybe pass him, but he would have ran him down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty predictable weekend. But it was turn 7 was like a lot of people like to call it Calamity Corner. But yeah, it's just they should really let the grass grow at Sonoma. I think it'd actually make it look a lot better, and people won't hydroplane so much as far as with the dirt.
Or, just have Sonoma be part of the West Coast Ring when the grass is green in the spring.
Honestly, that's what I was talking about as well. Like, while Sly and I were watching the Cup race at Sonoma, because those overhead shots that the blimps and the choppers would get of the track, and you just see you just see dirt. You just see dried up grass. And I was like, man, you notice the pictures of Sonoma during the fall or the winter time and just see how green the grass is. Like, man, a race weekend very early in the season would go so hard.
It would look amazing.
It would look all. I want to see a green grass race at Sonoma, honestly, instead of like what we've got with the dirt. Like, Sonoma has obviously been kind of a staple when it comes to the summer schedule for years. But I really feel like we really NASCAR really should look into, changing it up a little bit. Like, they change up the schedule a lot, and I commend NASCAR and I applaud them for at least trying some different things with the Cup Series, especially, and even with all three divisions as a whole over the years. But I think to even spice things up with Sonoma, yeah, you move it to like early on in the schedule. Make it like, I don't know, the third race of the season, kind of like how you do with Coda. Because Coda's early in the season too. So like, why not just swap Sonoma and Coda around?
Well, where is Coda at? Texas, right?
Yes, it's Austin, Texas.
Well, if you put Sonoma third, you would go Daytona, Atlanta, then they'd have to travel all the way across the country to Sonoma. I mean, not like they did that with Michigan and then the naval base, but that's
right. But it's also something that hasn't that I feel like, obviously it has been done before. Like you mentioned, like, you go like, say like it almost towards the midpoint of the season, you have tracks like Pocono, and then you go to Charlotte, you go to Nashville, you go to Michigan, and then you swing over to the West Coast like that. So suddenly, after being on the East Coast for so long,
Well, now what you can do is keep Coda where it's at. Obviously, like this year, they had the Naval Base Coronado and then Sonoma.
Right.
Well, if you're going obviously the start is at Daytona. Then you go to Atlanta. I will never call it its current name. And then say you go to Coda. Then you can put Sonoma after Coda.
Hey, there you go.
Another double road course.
Absolutely. Especially at the early point of the season. That would be interesting. But let's circle back here to the weekend. Like, obviously, like we had mentioned, like we knew this was going to be like the weekend that SVG was going to come back and win after what happened at Coronado. Because, like, my God, after what happened at the naval base, obviously that shouldn't have happened, but in a way, I'm kind of glad that it did, because then if SVG didn't get caught up in like this huge gigantic accident coming out of turn one at the naval base, we wouldn't be talking about Corey Heim being a first time Cup winner. We wouldn't have been talking about it. But of course, this weekend, SVG comes out of, not out of nowhere, but he does come to Sonoma, sweeps the weekend, and it's kind of interesting as well, because this is just a week after he was asked the question, of how does he feel about, everybody kind of singling out every driver, when it comes to road courses, and just saying, all right, let's hand the trophy over to SVG. We're going to fight it out for second. And it's just like, yeah, because SVG, like, yeah, he was not happy that that pretty much everybody, that the fans and the drivers were writing themselves off, and that the fans are writing all the other drivers off, because of his ability on the road courses, SVGs, obviously, and says that's not fair to his competition. Well, Chase Briscoe brought it in the Cup side. Honestly, if you gave Briscoe 2-3 more laps, he probably would have had SVG.
Mhm.
But I'll say as well, the Toyotas, no shock, especially on the Gibbs side, they were strong. They were strong this weekend. Again, we point out Briscoe running down SVG towards the end of the race. Ty Gibbs, who had swept both stages, led the second most laps. Christopher Bell, injured wrist and all. He was up here pretty much a good portion of the event. Unfortunately, we can't really say the same for Denny Hamlin. He did not have himself the best weekend, but there is good news that comes out of this for him. And we'll bring it up again when we get to the points. For the first time this season, we have a new points leader. His name is Denny Hamlin. So
By 1 point.
That actually went from Hamlin back to Reddick. Back to Hamlin.
Back to Hamlin. So like the points lead had shuffled at least several times throughout the Sonoma, throughout the Cup race. So I mean, that just shows how close it is, between Hamlin and Reddick. And obviously 2311's been strong all year, and they were. This weekend was not their weekend at all, either, because Tyler Reddick had some issues. He power steering issues, so he went, according to what I'm seeing here, 4 laps down. I think he was as low as 6 at one point. Yeah, he was
6 and got 2 of them back. Yeah.
Yep. So he finished dead last. Todd Gilliland not only took out Bubba Wallace, but also Riley Herbst, seconds apart from each other.
Oh my God.
Ran them both off the racetrack.
But was he like a quote unquote 2311 hitman? Like going after, not intentionally though.
Well, I would say the running Bubba off was intentional, because Bubba Wallace had absolutely overcooked turn 11 and kind of used Todd Gilliland as a brake. Inadvertently. So of course Gilliland sends him off of uphill turn 2, I believe, and then by the time the field gets downhill in the turn 3, Gilliland, whether if he meant to do it or not, he just runs Riley Herbst off the track. And I love Dale Jr.'s commentary here. It's just like, you know what, as if one wasn't enough, maybe we'll get one more. Maybe we'll get one more.
Maybe if he would have got Corey Heim, he would have got the trifecta.
Well, I don't think Heim was even in this race. Or unless if you're talking about Reddick.
Yeah. One of them.
One of them.
One of them.
At least one of them.
He couldn't get Reddick because he spent most of the race.
Well, I mean, even if he's several laps down, you could still run him off the track and ruin his day a little bit more. Rub a little bit more salt into the wound. As if it wasn't deep enough into the wound, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but I think we can definitely say though, like, just this, obviously it was a good weekend for Toyota, for Joe Gibbs Racing, but it was also the comeback tour after what happened in the naval base for SVG in the most obvious way possible. But no, I mean, we got Sly's comments on the weekend. Stapleton, how about you, man? What'd you think of this weekend?
I'm gonna be honest. I have no comments on the cup race because I didn't watch the cup race. I
Joined us.
Hmm?
They came and joined us.
I was busy watching wrestling on Sunday.
He was watching wrestling on Sunday.
There was like 3 pay-per-views going on all in that same afternoon, so I decided to watch that over Sonoma. But I did watch the O'Reilly race, and I felt like that was a waste of my time because of what SVG did to the field.
And I
You mean SVG and Village?
Yeah.
So
like
go ahead. Sorry.
So like at the end of the day, it's Sonoma. I like Sonoma, but I don't know. Like San Diego was different because, well, San Diego is new. But most of the time on these stinking road courses, I don't care if I'm at side for it or not. I just know that SVG is gonna lead the most laps and win.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's what happened. He won literally both races, literally led the most laps in both of them. So I don't really have many thoughts other than SVG absolutely cuts the field. However, based off of what I saw from highlights for the Cup race, it was a little bit more competitive than the O'Reilly race, though.
Yeah.
But there was a couple guys actually keeping up with SVG, and based off of the highlights, if it was like 111 or 112 instead of 110, or if Briscoe did not step up in that one turn and lost it like a second, maybe Briscoe could have got him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's SVG. We can't stop him. We just gotta live and believe SVG on the road courses.
Yeah. Even if he says that it's not fair to his competition that we ride everybody off on road courses, Chase Briscoe came pretty close.
And the crazy thing about all this is that for SVG, Trackhouse is off this year, and he still kept everyone's ass at Sonoma. So like
they probably had a meeting like, we need someone to help carry us, and SVG walks in and goes, okay.
Like honestly, if SVG was in a Joe Gibbs car, oh dear lord.
Oh my god.
What if besides that, what if he was actually in besides Joe Gibbs' car, a Hendricks car at that too?
Well, I guess it makes this case for this year a 23 E-level racing car.
Oh man.
He was a lap. He would have like a half a lap lead.
Oh, you also can we also make this comment real quick? Like, what's interesting is that obviously SVG is an Aussie, and his crew chief isn't. Meanwhile, you have
here we go.
You have Chase Briscoe, who obviously is American, but his crew chief James Smalls is Aussie. What if we swap the crew chiefs around?
Oh boy.
And Elijah, I know they said it during the broadcast, and we even said it while watching it.
Yeah.
Can we get a translator?
Yeah, can we get a translator?
Oh my
see,
goodness.
now that's a combo I want to see. James Small and SVG. I want to see it. Please, it has to happen, even if it's just for 1 year. Please. At Trackhouse, JGR, please work out a deal where if it's just a one-off, we need to spice up Radioactive. please.
Oh, and you know who we should get just for the memes and the laughs? You know who we should get as a commentator in the booth for all this?
Oh, who?
We Diffie.
No, get Jamie Little.
Oh my God.
No.
No, I said for the memes.
Oh,
Stapleton.
but still, no.
Oh
If it couldn't get
man.
any worse.
Well, no, you got to get Marcus Ambrose. He'll be the he'd be the
Oh.
perfect translator.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I just wanted to point that out because I thought that was really funny since we were pointing out things. Oh, but okay. Let's go ahead and review our finishing results for this weekend, starting off with the O'Reilly series at Sonoma. Obviously, SVG started first, finished first in engine number 9. Connor Zulich in engine number 1, although he did not win the race and sweep all ones in car 1. He finished second after starting in 30th. Brent Cruz comes home in 3rd. And Stapleton, you're going to love hearing this. Anthony Alfredo coming home in 4th, and Parker Retzloff finishing in 5th.
That was one of the things I'm very happy about. Like, I know I was saying about I was bored out of my mind on the O'Reilly race. I was very, 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 very happy about those two from winning up front.
Absolutely.
It's not the team that I like necessarily, it's the drivers I like. Westhoff and Alfredo. They're both doing a really good job, and I am happy for the team of Viking Motorsports.
And another thing to point out, both of them started 4th and 5th, and that's exactly where they finished. But I think it's awesome to see. I will add on to that is like I think with what we've seen all throughout this year with Parker Retzloff at Viking Motorsports, they've been strong with that 99. And now you start to see the 96 start to catch up. That 96 team is also catching up with the 99. And now all of a sudden, here they are, the road course program, and they finished top 5 both of them finishing inside of the top 5. And I think that shows a testament as to where Viking Motorsports is at and where they are looking to go. If they are wanting to be, a contending for wins, on a weekly basis. They know they're not there yet, but at least from what we're seeing here, what we saw and what we're looking at with the finishing order, it definitely should give us a good indicator as to where they're headed. And I think it's in the right direction.
Definitely. Westhoff has been fast all year. Like, honestly, if things worked out, he could have a win away. And I don't know what they did this year, but that team's figured out something. I think Westhoff will probably make the chase this year and be like the only non-super team color to make it, like Joe His Junior Motorsports at Sarah. Cox Factory team even. And I don't think Alfredo's gonna make the chase. But if he misses the chase, I think there could be a strong contention for him to be like 13th, 14th in points by the end of the year. Be like one of the first 1 to 2 cars out of the chase up there in the points.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy for him. And if they keep this up, who knows, maybe both cars could make it into the chase next year. And if something crazy happens and Alfredo pulls a rabbit out of a hat and gets like multiple top 5s in a row, maybe he does make the chase. Who knows?
Who knows?
But good for Viking and good for Retzloff and Alfredo.
Anyways, continuing on, Carson Quapple finishing in the 6th position. He'll be driving that's the final time he'll be driving the 91. Thank God. Corey
Yay.
Day finishing in the 7th position. Sam Mayer coming home in 8th. Jesse Love 9th. Sheldon Creed rounding out your top 10. From 11th on down to 20th, it looks like this. You got Sammy Smith, Austin Green, William Sawalich, Raja Karuth, Ryan Sieg, Josh Bilicki, Will Rogers, Harrison Burton, Alex LeBay, Jeremy Clements. That's your top 20. 21st on down to 30th looks like this. You got Jeb Burton, Austin Hill, Ryan Ellis, Brendan Poole, Patrick Starr, Justin Allgaier, Josh Williams, Dean Thompson, Taylor Gray, Blaine Perkins. That's your top 30. Finally, from positions 31st on down to 38th, look like this. Kyle Sieg, LeVar Scott, Dawson Cram, Kyle Kelly, Leland Honeyman, Brandon Jones, Ross Chastain, and Brad Perez, who went out of the race. Wow, didn't even start. Didn't even complete a lap.
Did you say Patrick Starr?
Yes, I did. You heard that correctly.
It's David Starr.
In the 48?
Huh?
It's an inside joke.
Oh. Okay.
See, that's why you need to come to the shows more often. Oh, look at the little kitty. Look at the void.
So you were not talking about David Starr. You were talking about
Patrick Staropoli.
the guy that should not even be in that line, and it should be Nick Sanchez still. I'm salty about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel for Nick Sanchez. Let's go over the Cup Series results now. SVG coming home as the race winner. Not surprised.
No one's surprised.
Chase Briscoe finishing in the second position. Ty Gibbs third. Kyle Larson fourth. Christopher Bell rounding out your top 5. Ryan Blaney finishing in the 6th position. Connor Zilic finishing in 7th. Ryan Preece in 8th. Michael McDowell 9th. And Alex Bowman rounding out your top 10.
Can I say something real quick?
Go for it.
So, I'm just going to say this. I think Kyle Larson's winless streak is going to end soon. Because he's on a roll with top 5s. Like, I saw one stat of how I think he has like 5 top 5s in the last 6 races or something.
Yeah, actually.
And I think I saw another stat where he has like the best average finish in the entire month of June with like a 4.2 or something. So, I know I'm a Kyle Larson fan, and I know Larson's not won in like over a year now, but Larson is still doing good. Even though he's not won, he's still doing good.
I think basically what you're teasing here is that next week Kyle Larson's going to break his winless streak.
We'll see
I think that's what you're teasing here.
We'll see what I pick later on.
Let's continue on here. Carson Hocevar finishing in the 11th position, followed by William Byron, Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, Brad Keselowski, AJ Allmendinger, and Car 16 finishing P16 after starting in the 8th position. So he finished in a position that was twice the starting position that he started in. Is your head spinning yet?
Yes, it already has.
I already figured that one out.
Chase Elliott coming home on 17th, and Zane Smith 18th, Buescher 19th, and Cole Custer rounds out your top 20. 21st on down to 30th looks like this. Cole Custer. Yeah. Actually, no. That's 20th. Yeah. Apparently there's 2 Cole Custers. Just like how there's 2 Austin Hills. Ricky Stenhouse. Then you got Bubba Wallace, Eric Jones, Joey Logano, John Hunter Nemechek, Denny Hamlin, Austin Dillon, Josh Berry, Todd Gilliland, and Riley Herbst. That is your top 30. That is the strangest and most wildest looking top 30 I think I've seen yet at Sonoma, especially. Because you got Legacy down here. You got, after the momentum that they've built up all throughout this month and even in late May, you got Logano down here, Denny Hamlin, Austin Dillon's down 23-11. You know, all of them did not do all that great. Obviously, the highest finishing driver out of the team is Bubba Wallace, but are we really surprised, of course, to see Austin Dillon and Josh Berry and Todd Gilliland all down here? I'm sorry, but obviously it's just kind of an up and down year for all three of them. Riley Herbst, I mean, kind of
He's been better this year.
he's been a lot better, but it's a shame to see him down here. Unfortunately. Finally, from 31st on down to 36, looks like this. Daniel Suarez, Noah Gragson, Cody Ware, Austin Hill, Ty Dillon, and Tyler Reddick, who went 4 laps down, finished 4 laps down. So nobody retired from the race. Nobody went to the garage area. Nobody was out. I think thank God, in a way.
It's not someone, but it was something that retired from the race, which was Tyler Reddick's power steering pump.
That's true. That's actually very true.
And I think I know I said this before we started recording, but if anybody filled out the in-season challenge, we know your bracket's busted. Because looking at the NASCAR's Twitter, it has a picture of how many perfect brackets remain. 0.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't fill one out, because I knew mine would get busted, even though round 1 was Sonoma. I knew something was gonna go unplanned.
Would you believe, like, before the in-season challenge even started, if I told you that Bowman was going to beat Tyler Reddick round 1 at Sonoma, you'd probably think I'm smoking something.
Yeah, I would not have believed it, based off of how good Tyler is on road courses. Like, I know Bowman's not too bad at road courses either, so I figured that would be a close matchup.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting, honestly, Tyler to have mechanical issues early on.
So it's like Chicagoland is looking like Bowman versus Cindric, Gilliland versus Hocevar, Briscoe versus Gibbs, McDowell and Elliott, Hamlin and Eric Jones.
Thank God Hamlin made it out of round 1. Let's just say that right now.
He almost didn't. Chris Buescher against the one-arm bandit, Christopher Bell. Hendrick Motorsport on Hendrick Motorsport crime going on here. William Byron and Kyle Larson.
That's easy.
Yeah, that's very easy.
Byron.
That's easy.
I just had to get Stapleton going somehow.
You gotta get him riled up.
And then the final matchup is SVG and Ryan Blaney.
I'm sorry, SVG. I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay, so let's now. Oh, I apparently tapped out. But now I think with that said, Wyatt is not here. So that
surprise. I'm kidding.
Oh, I'm about to say that's like the pot calling the kettle black.
Wow. But Wyatt is not here this week. For context, he just got home from his trip and he's spending time with his family. So we do wish him well and thank God that he's back home and he made it home safely. But that gives me the liberty of doing and going over all the damn points.
Hadley, I think you do it better. We won't tell Wyatt.
He's not.
You'll probably watch the video.
He's not gonna be listening and then type in our group chat saying, yeah.
You say this, and then he actually is gonna listen.
And then no, chances are he probably is gonna listen anyway. Even if we don't bring it up. But let's go ahead and let's talk about the O'Reilly Series point standings after Sonoma.
Why did we give him this damn button?
Well, he pressed it way too late. And he didn't give us a heads up, man.
God.
But let's go ahead and talk about the O'Reilly's points after Sonoma. Justin Allgaier, who obviously is locked in. There is no way within these next now 7 races, I believe, that he's going to be knocked out. There is no way that he is going to be knocked out of the top 12. So he is 386 points above the cutoff line. And
I didn't know he was that.
And he is about 193. If I'm doing my math correctly here, he is about 187 points over Jesse Love, who is 179 points above the cutoff line. Then you go to Corey Day, who is 173 points above. Sheldon Creed is 170. Austin Hill is 139. Carson Kvapil is 132. Sammy Smith is 106. Brandon Jones is 101. Then you take a 40-point dip over to Parker Retzlaff, who is 61 points below. Sam Mayer is 38 below, or above.
Oh.
Above, sorry. 61 above, and then Sam Mayer is 38 above. Brent Cruz is 21 above, and then you got Taylor Gray, who is 20 above. Now we go below the bracket here and say that, and just let you know that William Sawalich, he's 20 points below the cut line. Raja Karuth has been knocked out, or at least he's still right within this area, but he's 26 points below the cut line. Ryan Sieg is 46 points below the cut line. And then there is a huge gap, just under a 70-point gap between Ryan Sieg and Anthony Alfredo, who is 113 points below the cut line. Brendan Poole is 138 below. Dean Thompson, 168 below. Clements, 169. Jeb Burton, 194. Harrison Burton, 198. And Blaine Perkins, 207 points below the cut line.
I personally think that it's Ryan Sieg is the only one that it should be at in the bottom part that has a remote chance of maybe making it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone else below that? No, they're done.
Raja's below the cutoff line, right?
Yes, Raja is 26 below.
That is a tricky one, just based off of if he was in the 88 full time, he would make the chase regardless, but he's not. There's I think on the broadcast they said that there was two races coming up, but Chase is in the 88 and then Raja is in the 32. That's the tricky part. That for the races that Raja's in the 32, is Raja should make it in, but he has to maximize the races that he's in the 88.
Where'd you say he was at? Did you say he was 26?
26 below the cut line.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that he was 26.
No.
My brain's fried from today.
It's Monday.
Why, Elijah.
It's Monday.
No, you know why.
That was actually
what I put in your Discord though, Elijah, was what it felt inside my car.
Oh yeah, I can relate. But let's continue on. Oh, I thought you were. I thought we paused you on your thought, Stapleton.
No.
Long story short, Raja should be in the 88. He's not. I'm not happy about it. Raja needs to capitalize the races he's in the 88. I mean, he's not in the 32 to survive. Raja should make it, but if he doesn't, I blame Junior Motorsports and Hendrick Motorsports for wanting to have cut drivers in 88 when they could just have another Hendrick car to team up at the 17. There's my rant. Carry on. I like Roger Kloof. I want him to make the chase.
I would definitely agree. I mean,
Breathe, Stapleton. Breathe.
can we also say that even if he doesn't make the chase, Anthony Alfredo, I think, has a shot of at least getting close. Because and the only reason why I say that is because, again, look at what happened at Sonoma. Both Viking Motorsports cars finished top 5. And as I mentioned, they're taking strides in the right direction. And it's not they're looking to win races overnight. They are looking to knock off top 10 finishes at best. They have been able to execute that with Parker Retzlaff. And it's with to convincing fashion, by the way, in very convincing fashion. Because look at where Retzlaff is, 9th in points, 61 points above the cut line. Alfredo, I think, has a shot of pulling himself into the conversation of, mixing it up with Sieg and Caruth and Sawalich and Gray, Cruz, and Sam Mayer. I think he has a legit shot of, pulling himself out of this hole. But I think it's going to be close. I think it might be very, very close. And if we're going to be talking about Alfredo more, this is a direction that Viking Motorsports needs to take both of their cars. Obviously, they've transferred some of the information that they have on the 99 over to the 96, and it's translated almost flawlessly. They need to continue this execution for the next 7 races.
And if they do that, then I think regardless if Alfredo makes the chase or not, it'll be a long shot. I think Alfredo will be like top 15 in points. If they continue this for the rest of the year, Alfredo will be in the conversation for like 13th, 14th, 15th in points.
Absolutely.
Just outside of the top 12 in the chase, which is not bad based off of where they were at one point for Alfredo.
I think if Alfredo was to make it, Gray, Sawalich, Caruth, and Ryan Sieg would have to finish near the bottom for the remaining races.
Right.
And he'd have to finish around the top 10 in every single race to have a shot at making the chase.
Got a couple super speedway races.
One super speedway and then one real super speedway.
Okay.
One that's cosplaying as a super speedway.
I agree. I don't like that of what they did, but we got 2 what they call it, drafting tracks.
Oh yeah, drafting tracks.
Oh, drafting tracks. Not like we draft everywhere else, you idiots. I'm spicy today. I don't know.
Well,
he's fired up.
Well, to kind of go off of what you were saying, though, Stapleton, that I think why they really call them drafting tracks, it's because that's where even the arrow matter.
Well,
drafting, you can draft anywhere, but those tracks, it's drafting matters more than anything, or you just get hung out to dry.
Yeah. All right, let's continue on here talking about the Cup Series points. And as we mentioned, for the first time this season, leaving Sonoma, we have a new points leader, and it is Denny Hamlin. Throughout the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, he has really been reeling in Reddick. And finally, after Sonoma, he takes the points lead, but by one singular point. By 1 point. And he is, by the way, 330 points above the cut line. Reddick is 329. 93 points below Reddick is Ryan Blaney. Or are we talking 190? 193. No. Hold
No,
on.
100. Look from looking at this, it looks like 103.
That's what I was thinking, but I was second guessing myself. 103 points down is Ryan Blaney. 226 points above the cut line. This just shows you how much of a different zip code that Toyota has been on throughout the first half of the season. Absolutely wild that Toyota in 2311 and Joe Gibbs Racing with Denny Hamlin has been able to absolutely gap the field in performance, in points, in consistency, every single aspect. It's just unbelievable. This, and as I mentioned, it's 2016 all over again. Fourth in points is Ty Gibbs. He is 200 points above the cut line. Kyle Larson is 182 above. And then you get down to Chase Elliott, who is 165. Chris Buescher is 129 points above the cut line. Carson Hocevar is 120. Daniel Suarez is 95 points above the cut line. Christopher Bell is 83 points above the cut line. Chase Briscoe is 79 above. William Byron is 57 above. Bubba Wallace is 55 above. SVG, after his win at Sonoma, and I believe he was just barely below the cut line going into that weekend. After that win, there's a chance that he pulled himself back into the top 16. He's 36 points above. Ryan Preece is 13 above. And Austin Cindric is 12 above. But this is kind of close. Eric Jones, he's 12 points below the cut line. Brad Keselowski is 25 points below. AJ Allmendinger is 26 points below. Joey Logano is 31 points below. Michael McDowell is 32 points below. And Ross Chastain is 56 points below the cut line. Gentlemen, as we have concluded the first half of the season and head over to Chicagoland to begin the second half, Crops hit the fan with the point standings, especially up there with that points lead in that regular season championship. But it also shows that within the first half of the season, Toyota's been absolutely dominant. And I'm actually curious if they're able to carry that dominance straight into the second half of the season. And if so, does Chevrolet continue to follow in the coattails? And if they're able to, can Ford potentially pick up the pace a little bit and run with the Toyotas and the Chevrolets?
I do think Toyota's going to continue it on with Hamlin and even Reddick. Because, this was, I think, the first major problem Reddick's had all year. I think. I may be wrong.
That sounds about right.
But, Gibbs is starting to become a threat more and more each week. After his win at Bristol, it's just like a fire lit under him, and he's been really consistent at the top of the field.
Absolutely.
And I knew, we were talking about it, earlier in the season, if anybody was able to touch Reddick, and obviously now we know someone did. It's just a question. Can Reddick get it back? Or will it continue? Or will he follow in his teammates' footsteps and start dwindling down in the standings?
Yeah, I think Toyota's just gonna be strong for the rest of the year. I think Hamlin, I think Gibbs, are all gonna be like the three-headed monster from Toyota, but then also Bell and Briscoe are not too far behind either. Um, so I think it's gonna be a lot of Toyota, but I think Chevrolet is getting better with the slightly new Camaro, and I think Hendrick in particular, Hendrick slash Spire, because I think Spire has some sort of Hendrick alliance. Those two are definitely getting better with the Chevrolet body. So I could easily see at some point eventually Chevy and Hendrick competing with the Chevrolet competing with themselves, competing with the Toyotas more often. But I know there's been a couple times where they've challenged for the win, but Toyota won. I think eventually Chevrolet's gonna win. And I think like Tracer, I know he won a couple times. I think he could win a couple times more. I think Lawson will eventually break his win streak. Byron, if he can somehow get out of the slump that he's had the up and down season, maybe he can get up there. And then of course Suarez and Hosfos up there in the points as well. So I definitely think that eventually Chevrolet will be able to take it to Toyota more often. As far as Ford is in trouble. Literally the only Ford that's up there is Ryan Blaney, and then outside of that is RFK, or like Busher, Police, Blad,
Right.
and then so I mean, I I don't know if Ford's getting like a new body and they're just kind of like in the lame duck year, or if something is really off with Ford, but Ford is terrible. Outside of Ryan Blaney, Ford is terrible.
I mean, one of the definitions is fix or repair daily. So,
That's true.
But yeah, those are my thoughts. I think it's gonna be. I guess you can say maybe like I think 6 to 8 drivers. I think they'll really have a shot. I think like Ty Gibbs, Hamlin, Bell, Briscoe. Hamlin. I cannot speak. Hamlin, Gibbs, Redditt, Bell, Briscoe, Lawson, Elliott, Holzfar, was those 8 to 9 drivers. I think are gonna just keep on getting better. I can't believe I just said that about Suarez. I really can't. But Suarez has been good. So I'll give credit where credit's due for Suarez. And I'll give credit where credit's due for Spotted. That's my thoughts.
I would agree with that, honestly. To be honest, I think I would even agree with myself with Toyota continuing their dominance. You know, even with guys like Hamlin and Reddick who have been on top of the points for the first half of the season, and now with it the points lead changing hands to Denny Hamlin. Hamlin could potentially run away with the points lead like Reddick did at the beginning of the year. I don't think he'll do it in the same way that Reddick did, but I think he'll do it consistently. He'll still win races. I mean, we obviously this month has treated him so good. Like late May into early June has actually been so good to him. But yeah, I'd say for 23-11 altogether, you know, as far as the Toyota side, they've slipped up a couple times, obviously with, you know, Coronado and then this weekend at Sonoma. So heading into the second half of the season, I do have a little bit of concern for Reddick that the little slump might continue. Reddick especially has slipped. He is.
I think he got comfortable.
He got a little too. I think he might have gotten a little too comfortable in that points lead, And then once he did, he started slipping, started to lose that edge, and obviously look where he is now. He's 1 point below his own boss. But I think Reddick could probably bounce back at Chicagoland. Chevrolet, I will also agree that you got the Spire boys. They're going to be up there. Hendrick Motorsports has been strong. Going back to Toyotas, obviously JGR is going to be absolutely dominant with, the other three, Gibbs, Briscoe, Bell. Ford's, it's hard to believe that they only have one win all year this year. If I'm correct, I mean, this is only looking at I'm only going to look at the schedule here, but they only have one win all year. Obviously with Ryan Blaney at Phoenix.
All the way at like race 3 or 4.
Back in March, by the way. Yes. So that was like the 4th race of the season. And that was Ford's. I think with obviously the race winners, it speaks volumes as to where Ford's program is at right now. It doesn't matter if you're driving for Roush or Penske, or even if they weren't a Chevrolet team but still a Ford team, Rick Ware Racing, or even Haas Factory team if they were still a Ford team, right? I think it just shows where Ford's program is at right now, and Ford is they're in trouble. As Stapleton said, they are absolutely in trouble. I think they'll run fine. They'll still run pretty consistently, but I don't think it'll be enough to, see them possibly win another race this year. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm entirely writing another win for Ford off the table yet, but there's still an opportunity. And they still have a decent amount of Fords that are still inside of the top 16. I see 3. Obviously, Blaney, 3rd in points. He's been consistent all year. Buescher, same thing. Same goes for him. And then you also have Ryan Preece. So then Austin Cindric. 4 Fords, all inside of the top 16. So they are showing consistency, but I just don't think there's going to be a shift in the Ford camp where all of a sudden overnight you're going to see the only other team I think you'd see perform and dominate overnight is Penske with Blaney or Logano. RFK is a bit of a stretch. A little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Only other driver I probably see doing it is Buescher. Maybe not so much Preece or even Keselowski, but hey, yeah, I mean, we've seen stranger things happen in the second half of the season, so for all we know, Toyota going into the second half could just suddenly fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah, we know, but we all know that's highly unlikely. They got Toyota's got 14 wins this season.
That's almost half the season. Almost half of that's almost every race within the first half of the season. Yeah,
because you got Blaney, Elliott, Hocevar. He don't drive Toyota, thank God. Suarez. That's it.
Yeah. It's unbelievable of the momentum the Toyota's had all year this year up to this point. But now let's talk about momentum in the GTN points. The GTN points have taken a massive, massive turn. Ladies and gentlemen, he started the year off pretty much at the bottom of the barrel, dead last in the point standings, but he managed to pull himself out of the hole, and he's at the top of the mountain right now. Slifer is in the points lead with 72 points. he managed to grab the most points for this past weekend. He grabbed 4 points altogether. That brings him up to 72, taking the points lead away from Wyatt, who has 71 points. Of course, myself in third with 70, and then Nathan Stapleton dead last with 69.5 points.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that half point.
No.
He loves that half point. It's like that toy when we go to the museum in Repo. He doesn't want to get rid of it.
Oh no. I'm saving that just for it to be where it's like by half a point, Nathan wins over whoever. I want to win by half a point. That's why I'm saving that.
But if you're saving it, it could also hurt you. You could lose it by half a point.
Oh yeah.
I'm okay with that. I want it to be close. And by half a point, that's as close as it can get.
That's as close as it can get. Oh man. But I think with that said,
I think I did find a couple things. I don't know if they'd really be breaking, but interesting things to be brought up.
well, with that said, before we continue on here and before you bring it up, this does conclude all the damn points. Sly, what might you
All right,
find?
so I know we had talked about previously that Dodge was possibly going to come back to NASCAR and maybe in 28, but it looks like there's a real good chance we will see Dodge next year because they are finalizing a plan to return to NASCAR Cup Series as soon as the start of the 2027 season.
That's a big stretch.
That's huge.
I mean, if it happens, cool, but
Also, like the loyalty that people have with the manufacturers they have. There's rumors speculating that Ford affiliated RFK might switch to Dodge, but they confirmed that they're staying with Ford.
yeah, Brad himself, I saw that tweet. Brad
Yeah.
himself's like, no.
Brad's like, hell no.
But also something's back that hasn't been raced in many years. And they raced, I believe, this past weekend near Charlotte at the 10/10 Motor Club. Which was the International Race of Champions.
That's an interest. That is another thing that's going to be interesting. Because they what's funny is that back in April, there was this car festival that took place. And one of the things that was included in that week-long festival was an IROC race. At what track was it? I can't even remember what it was called, but it was nearby Hendrick Motorsports, I believe.
It was the one that they had. It was called 10/10 Motor Club.
Okay, so you just said the name like not too long ago. Okay, That's me. Ignore what I'm saying. So basically, what you're talking about is the same race that took place 3 months ago, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not playing nothing, but I'll just let this sink in.
But like just look at this. This is basically what happened just a couple months ago. And honestly, when I first saw this and I saw the news of like who was going to be coming in, like you got guys like Kurt Busch in this race, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Bill Elliott, and other Scott Pruitt, I think, was in this too.
Scott Pruitt, Max Pappas.
Yeah. So like when you see this and when I think this is honestly, it's so cool. Oh, ads.
Ads.
Oh no.
Hold on. Gotta
But-
love YouTube.
Oh, and gotta love Chrome because they don't block ads. But like just looking at this,
Earnhardt
this
Jr.
Dale Jr. as well. Like this, I think when you see this and you kind of hear more and more news about IROC potentially coming back and like maybe getting back up off the ground, I think that's
Oh, it is.
it's. I think that's definitely a cool deal. That's getting ready to happen because like now as we're thinking about it, this also kind of makes me believe that maybe SRX might have been the testing grounds, maybe to see if you can get IROC back up and running, maybe a few years down the road.
I mean, it's like,
Maybe.
when was the last time you seen a Pontiac on a racetrack?
I want to say since 2003.
And it's not all the same cars like they used to have when they first did, when they were doing IROC racing.
Mhm.
Because looking between the two Dodges, an old school Camaro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a very old
So
IWAP Camaro.
and so the race that they had, let's see, they gave the top 5 of who finished that race.
Yeah.
Kurt Busch won it. He
Oh.
edged out Jeff Gordon.
Yes.
Scott Pruitt came in third, and he also secured the win for the Banjo Chassis class. Tommy Kendall and Max Pappas.
Hey, Max Pappas.
Yeah. No, that's honestly really cool.
And it was Ray Abraham and someone else that resurrected the IROC series.
That's so cool though. Well, let's circle back here to Dodge for a moment. Now that it's looking a little bit more likely, it's not officially confirmed yet, but now that it's looking a little bit more likely that Dodge is probably shaping to come back to Cup next year. And I know we touched on this a little bit before before we broadcasted the show slide, but like we talked about it off air. We can easily point out Colleague would be the first to make that jump to Dodge and Cup.
Yeah, they would be the flagship for Dodge.
It makes the most sense because they were basically the ones that brought Dodge back into NASCAR to begin with. But also on top of that, it would also make sense on the Cup side because they're not getting support from Chevrolet right now.
Yep.
So it makes a lot of sense to do this. But my question is to especially you, Stapleton, what other teams would you potentially see switching over the Dodge in the big 27?
I mean, I feel like it could be very interesting. I feel like I'm gonna be honest, it could make the chase even more interesting next year. Like 27, 28, 29. If Dodge does come back sooner than expected. Because look at Colleague. They Omni has been top 20 or so most of the year in points with no factory split.
Yeah.
And I feel like if Dodge does join back either next year or 28, they might struggle. They might not. But Colleague will at least have factory support from Dodge. Unlike what they have for Chevrolet right now.
Right.
So I honestly could maybe see Colleague be a fringe chase contender, like 16th, 18th range. I could see that. Like Omni is still doing good, even even at his old age. He's
Yeah.
still going. As far as Ty Dillon, it's not gonna matter. I'm sorry, it's not gonna matter for Ty Dillon. Um, but for Omni, I could see it being a fringe chase contender.
Absolutely.
Plus, I'm all for more manufacturers in NASCAR, and like that then would make me wonder if we would see a Dodge in the O'Reilly series again.
It's possible. Maybe taking the reins from Ford, who's non-existent in O'Reilly's right now.
Literally, the O'Reilly series is literally the Chevrolet series presented by O'Reilly.
It's probably what they should have renamed it.
But
Let's
just have Chevrolet buy out the series.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's talk about one other thing that's kind of been rumored, and now these rumors have kind of intensified, within the last couple of days. But there have been rumors potentially signaling that Noah Gragson may be under negotiations with Richard Childress Racing. From what I've seen today, or even just this past weekend, those rumors have since then intensified. They have there has really been no conversations that have been brought up on TNT Broadcasting or even from NASCAR.com, but there are other news outlets that may be getting a little bit of a deeper scoop as to what the future of Noah Gragson may look like heading into next year. So with that said, I'm going to turn to you guys and I will ask, do you potentially see Noah Gragson making the move to RCR next year?
Yeah, I do. Because it's he'd have so much more potential over there with all the at least like information that he can bounce off of other teams within RCR. So
Yeah. And like, let's be honest, that the third car, the number 4, is like terrible at front row. Like, it probably won't be that much of a equipment loss for him.
Right.
If anything, it could be a little bit of a equipment upgrade from the 4 car to, like, say, the 33 car.
Yeah. That is permitting if he does go to the 33 next year. Should Austin Hill not get the ride? That's only if.
Mhm.
I think the only other possibility that you may have with including Austin Hill in your Cup future is if you increase your team to 3 cars, and maybe, just maybe, I don't think Colleague has this number anymore. Say if you brought back the 31 for RCR. Maybe.
Well, not a bad thought, but he's my only problem. If they have, will they get another Charlie?
but what if, because we know Austin Hill is just finishing out the season with that car, right?
Yeah.
What if you put Gragson in the 33?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, say if Gragson does get the 33, and if you still want to bring Austin Hill up to Cup, then definitely make your add a third car. And I say if you're not able to afford a charter, run it open.
Mm-hmm.
Run it open if you have to.
I mean, you do have a good point because I think that's what LFK's planning on doing for One Police.
Yeah.
Like Brad said that they're like, yeah, we're committed. One Police is not going anywhere. Open or chartered, and that apparently it's not like there's rumors of it being a huge investment loss, and apparently it's not like as big as an investment loss as what everyone thought.
Right.
Like I think it was only like a couple million, and so like people was like, oh, if you don't have a trial, we're gonna lose like tens of millions of dollars. Like, not exactly, especially RFK, they have a boatload of sponsors, and feel like I might be wrong on this, but I feel like the 60 more times than not does have like the Kroger brands on it,
Yeah.
and Kroger's a big deal. So like that, so like I think if they can get some good branding, maybe RCL could want a third car and have BA open entry.
Mm.
But like, it's definitely doable. It's not as impossible as everyone was saying about it being.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know, maybe.
Possibly.
The sooner we get Austin Hill out of the Wiley series and have him stop winning at every single Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta race, the better.
Absolutely. But alrighty. I think we've gone over everything that we needed to go over. So with that said, let us go ahead and preview for the first time since 2019 Chicagoland Speedway.
Yeah.
It has been 7 years since NASCAR made the trip. COVID had to come along and throw a huge monkey wrench into the whole thing. But here we are, 7 years later. We're back at the track that we have been begging NASCAR to go back to since COVID restrictions got lifted. So, gentlemen, I'm going to turn to you guys and I'm going to ask you, after 7 years of waiting, what are we looking to expect this weekend at the Chicagoland Speedway?
I know I've
gonna
said
let
this quite a
Brad
few
go.
times, but pure and utter chaos because there's really no straightaways.
But I mean, oh my goodness, I can't say this enough. Like honestly, there was one point in time, and Elijah knows this. Back in 2018, when the Kyle and Kyle thing happened at Chicagoland, I was pissed. I have since moved on.
This is actually funny that you bring it up, and I'm sorry to cut you off. But do you remember a few months prior to this, something similar happening at Bristol, and you made a rant video about it?
Yeah. See, that was 2018. I was I'm 24 now. That's what was I like 15, 16?
You had to have been around 15, 16 years old when that happened.
I was not mature back then.
Mm.
Hell, I don't know if I'm really
none of us
now.
were back then.
But like,
yeah, you're right. None of us.
Right.
Because what? 2018. Oh God. I think I was either in my 20s or 30s. No, yeah, my 30s. Jesus.
Man.
Yeah, like I like outside of me being a immature Wilson fan, now that I've looked back on it, that was one of the craziest finishes in NASCAR history.
I can agree with that.
Slide job from Dale.
Slide job.
Slide job. And that has like lived on, and then of course 2019, 2020, and like it's off the schedule. Like obviously the COVID was happening, but it's like, but you just had a classic finish 2 years ago. Like,
Dear God.
How you doing, Mr. Second Place?
Oh, I'm back from my sister's dinner.
Well, how about that? We are actually wrapping. We're getting towards the end, so we're previewing Chicagoland.
and I am.
Oh, I thought y'all were. I thought y'all have already done that.
Nope.
That's
Nope.
Nope.
I thought y'all were you doing predictions.
Not yet.
No. But I was just saying how damn, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about before? What scared me?
Mm.
You were talking about the Kyle and Kyle show 2018.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like I love mile and a halves in general, but I really love Chicagoland, and it's unfortunate that we took the 7-year break because it was just getting its prime, and like the track was getting worn out and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's like 2020, 2021, 2022, 23, 24, 25. Those would have been like prime years. I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but it's definitely going to be worn out. And it's definitely going to be like Old Atlanta or Auto Club. It's going to be worn out. It's going to be bumpy. It's going to be a cheese grater. You can run everywhere.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to seeing it in person.
But
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, it was probably mentioned previously, but I'm actually going to be at the track this weekend. I am actually going to be watching. I'm going to be watching my first O'Reilly race, and I'm going to be watching the Cup race in person.
pick up me and Elijah, and we can all go. Boom.
I mean, hey, I can literally pick you up, Stapleton, and we can just drive over.
Boom. It's literally, this is all
Down
part
here,
of the
like,
Midwest.
fuck y'all.
Oh,
Sorry, we're not going.
Thank God Stapleton was talking.
I'm sorry, I am. We are
No,
not
no,
going
no,
down
you
to
good.
Florida.
No, it was a good thing you was talking, is what I said.
5% majority shooting on this
Uh,
podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Chicagoland, and I really hope, please, NASCAR, please don't let this be a one and done. Please, please,
please, for the love of God.
please.
And with how well these next gen cars have been treating mile and a halves, this is why I'm really excited for this too. Because mile and a halves on Chicagoland. Well, I just know Chicagoland's always put out great races on the stuff.
Absolutely.
Like you mentioned, the Kyle and Kyle show, it got the greatest, one of the great underdog stories with Alex Bowman getting his first career win at
Mhm.
Chicagoland, and that was the
Yeah.
last time we've been there. We were supposed to go there in 2020, but COVID screwed everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am really excited to see this in person.
Oh man, this is definitely going to be one of those weekends where we're excited, but also nervous at the same time because it's been a while since NASCAR has been to Chicagoland. But okay, I think it's time we get on down into our predictions for the weekend. For those of you who are brand new to the show and are not exactly sure how we make our picks, here's how we make them. We give you a driver who we think is going to win. pretty self-explanatory. The driver to stay away from is the driver that hasn't been doing well the last couple of weeks, or we're just coming up to a track where they don't perform all that well at, whether statistically or in general. And the dark horse is the exact opposite. Chicagoland Speedway. It has been 7 years, as we have talked about, but finally we're going racing at the right track in Chicago.
No disrespect to the street course. That was fun.
For
That's
while
semi disrespect. Depends on who you ask.
you know, but we're racing at the correct track in Chicago, the Chicagoland Speedway, or in Joliet, Illinois, Chicagoland Speedway. With that said, I think it's time we kick it off with our point leader, Slifer. You're up first.
All right, so I'll make this short and sweet. My dark horse, I'm still riding with Brent Cruz. My stay away, I'm going with Ryan Sieg. And the one I think that's going to win it, it's going to be Corey Day.
I like it.
For the Cups, my dark horse, I'm taking Ty. Good old Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it.
And to move on in the in-season challenge as well. My stay away, Mr. Crybaby, Bubba Wallace.
It's a crybaby.
And I'm about to make somebody really, really happy. And it's not Wyatt. My driver to win is going to be Kyle Larson.
I like it. I 100% like that.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And I will catch y'all mañana.
All right. Well, Sly's getting ready to go stream, so you take care, man. You have yourself a good
I'm
night.
about to go to Chicagoland myself.
Yeah. And iRacing.
Yeah. God help.
Nah, he's actually going there. And
Yeah. I'm going to teleport myself from Florida to Chicago.
Yeah, you got a teleportation device.
You know how messed up that would be. And after I get off job, because like you get one guy gets tickets and gets in, and then everyone else just like teleportation device. Doot, doot, doot. Everyone shows up.
But yeah, that would be crazy.
All right, Chuck.
Alrighty, man.
See you.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, Stapleton, take it away. You're up next.
Okay. I was not prepared. Well,
Get
that
prepared.
says the guy that's not even. No, I don't want to save the image. Oh my goodness.
Yes, you do.
I don't need these file images. Anywho. Let's see here.
Do 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 do. Do, 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 do,
series. My picks for this series. My dark horse. I'm gonna say. My dark horse is going to be Jesse Love.
Alright.
Okay, I like it.
My dark horse, my double dark horse. Why this is not new? I've not been able to talk all day. My driver to stay away from, and I've kind of feel bad for this because he was doing good at one point. Earlier in the year, relatively speaking, with the equipment he has. But my driver to stay away from is Lavelle Scott.
Okay.
All right.
and he was doing good earlier in the year. I don't know what happened, but he's not. He's in a slump. And my driver to win is going to be. I don't know why, but I kind of have a funny feeling. I was gonna pick Allgaier. Was. But I have suddenly had an idea pop into my mind.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but we are rolling with it. My driver to win will be Sheldon Creed.
Ooh, Sheldon Creed.
Are you ever going to get moved on half point?
Huh?
We slightly talked about it earlier too.
Oh. Half point. Oh, because you want to hear why? No, I'm not going to, because I'm saving it for the end of the season. That way it's like either I win by half a point or I lose by half a point. And it will be funny.
Didn't we make a rule that we can't end on a half point? Didn't we make that rule?
I don't know if we did. I can't even remember myself.
I don't know. I'll make that rule next year. Anyways.
Wow, I'm getting a rule added for me because of what I'm doing. Well, I'm behind, so I can't pit half points. I can't pit cup guys when I'm behind. Anyway, for the Cup Series, now this is interesting. My dark horse will be Tyler Levitt.
Okay.
My driver to stay away from. Now this is a toss-up. But my driver to stay away from is going to be. No. I don't know how well he's gonna do here. He's never been to this track before, so give me SVG as my driver to stay away from. I know
I thought about that with mine, but it's like, no.
I know it's getting better at the ovals, but Chicagoland, he's never been to, and it's gonna be very, very worn out, and I don't really know how well he does that worn out racetracks. So there's that, and my driver to win. I think you guys already know what I'm going with. He's been on a hot streak, 5 top 5s in the last 6 races. He loves this racetrack. He loves running the wall. He loves old worn-out surfaces. Auto Club, Darlington. Give me Kyle freaking Larson to win at Chicago and break a over 1 year win this weekend. If this happens, I'll be one happy staple.
All right. With that said, Wyatt, take it away, man. You're up next.
All right, for my O'Reilly series picks, I agree he's going to do good, but I don't think he's going to win. I got Corey Day as my dark horse. My driver to stay away from, Cole Custer. I feel like that's my default for so. And my driver to win, I mean, I get what I get about Corey Day being good and a good risk with the Sheldon Creed, but come on. Allgaier has been on a roll the last few weeks, last few months. He has 5 wins. He's contending almost every single week. He's up there. He is currently the only driver locked in. I got Allgaier. He's the only one, I believe. Maybe Cole Custer is added onto this list. and Brandon Jones, I believe too. But there's only a few drivers who's actually been at this track 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Allgaier is one of them. So I got Allgaier. It's hard to bet against Allgaier.
I can believe it.
For the Cup Series, I agree he's going to run good. Like you said, his best track. But I think there's another driver on a better hot streak at the moment. Maybe not last week, but then again, they were road courses, and I'll get to him in a minute. My dark horse is actually Kyle Larson, though. I do agree that he is going to be good. But I don't know if he's going to get that win yet. He could prove me wrong, but I don't know. My stay away, I got Josh Berry. He's just really falling. I can't. I had to put Josh Berry on here.
Yeah.
Just like he's having the worst. But my driver to win, he has won the last 3. Is it 3 ovals?
At least 3.
At least 3 ovals, almost 4. Actually, hold on. I'm going to count the All-Star race in this one.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I'm still here. I'm thinking. I'm still here. I'm thinking. Give me a moment.
I thought...
He could have won. He won 4 of the last 5, including All-Star race. 5 races. He could have won Charlotte, depending on how the rain delay would have been. How can he not have been Denny Hamlin? He's ahead of, and he's the points leader now. He has dethroned Tyler Reddick as the points leader.
Absolutely.
By 1 point. The first person to do it this season.
Yep.
How? I'm sorry. Larson, this is Larson's playhouse. Larson's good the last couple weeks or years that we ran at Chicagoland when they were still around. But I got to throw Denny Hamlin in there. He's won Chicagoland before.
Yeah.
I got, with the run he's got, I gotta get Denny Hamlin. It's hard not to bet against Denny Hamlin.
Watch it be Hamlin wins and Larson gets second.
Hey, you know what? I would accept that. And Josh Berry gets last place. You know, I'd be happy.
I wouldn't.
Of course you'd
I
be
would
happy.
I would like Larson to win.
All right.
And thank you.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, it is officially my turn to make my predictions. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and start off with the O'Reilly series. My driver...
O'Reilly. Autopilots series.
You caught me off guard with that, man. That's the second time. Oh. But now starting off my... Come on, man. There we go.
Of course, when I'm not ready. Okay.
Of course, when I'm not ready, you play it. But when I actually am, you're like, does he want me to press the button?
I got confused.
But anyways, with my O'Reilly's picks for Chicagoland, my driver to win. You know, I might go maybe with a little bit of a different approach here for this weekend. This guy's also been good on 1.5 miles, so I'm gonna say Taylor Gray is my driver to win. I kind of said it a little bit, but I'm gonna say Taylor Gray is my driver to win. Another guy that has shown a lot of speed, especially on 1.5 mile tracks. Almost won Naval Base, by the way, even though yes, that it was a road course. But I think he does have an opportunity. You know, mile and a halfs, especially for the 54 team, has definitely been a good strong suit. So I'm going to say Taylor Gray's my driver to win. My driver to stay away from, I think I'm probably going to say for this week, I'm going to say maybe... It's tough. This is very, very tough. I think I might say for my driver to stay away from, I will go with Blaine Perkins.
All right.
Blaine Perkins will be my driver to stay away from. But my dark horse, I will agree that he's going to run that good. He's going to have himself a good weekend. Do I think he'll win? No. Allgaier will be my dark horse. Allgaier is 100% my dark horse. Because there is still an opportunity that he might win, you know, which is also okay. But I just don't think that this week he'll get the job done. But who knows? I mean, he still could come home with a top 5 and still increase his absolutely seismatic points lead over Jesse Love. Man, it's absolutely insane. And now it's time for the main event. The Eero 400. Interesting sponsor name, by the way. I know that's also
Eero.
Josh Berry's sponsor name. And he's actually carrying it for this race, by the way.
Eero.
The Eero 400 at the Chicagoland Speedway for the NASCAR Cup Series. Here we go.
Yo. Yo. Sorry, that's the funny word to say.
We got to do some research on what Eero is, but as we're doing
I
this,
think it's some kind of like internet thing. I'm pretty sure.
possibly, we'll do some more research after this. My driver to win, I'm gonna agree with Wyatt on this one. I'm gonna say yes. Yeah, totally Joey Logano is my driver to win. Denny Hamlin.
No.
Denny Hamlin is my driver to win. For context, I typed in 22 by accident when I meant to type in 11. I was like, so I pretty much almost gave Wyatt and Stapleton a mini heart attack.
But not to mention, he started off saying that I agree with Wyatt, and then I didn't even see him put the 22, and then I just hear him like, he agreed with me, and yet he put my arch enemy on there first.
Yeah, I totally meant to do it. But no, Denny Hamlin, all jokes aside, is my driver to win. You know, it's with the momentum that Hamlin and the 11 team has had all season long, especially going 3 in a row in the month, like in late May into June with Nashville, Michigan, Pocono. It's remarkable to see how consistent and how strong that this team has been all year, especially heading into the second half of the season. I think they're going to keep that heat going. They're just going to keep turning that heat up a little bit more, and that volume is going to get a little bit louder on us talking about Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs Racing and the number 11 team as we head into the second half of the season. And Hamlin is going to start it off with a win at Chicagoland. Driver to stay away from, I think that's easy. Todd Gilliland is my driver to stay away from.
Yeah.
Especially after he moved not just one, but 2 2311 cars in the same lap. Almost 2 turns apart from each other. But I'll say he's my driver to stay away from. But my dark horse, I will still include him in this conversation. Kyle Larson is my dark horse. Absolutely has been on a tear the last several weeks. Multiple top fives. Has been overdue for a win for a while. That dates back to last year. So Chicagoland could be the race that he could break his winless streak. If not, he could add another top five to that run. Either way, whether if he wins or not, he'd still add a top five. But my dark horse, regardless, Kyle Larson. Alrighty, gentlemen, we've done everything that we needed to do, though. We have reviewed Sonoma. We have gone over points. We've gone over the breaking stories and the potential rumors, and then previewed Chicagoland. That's when Wyatt entered the chat and made her predictions. So, one last question. Any final thoughts before we get the Chicagoland weekend underway?
I've been waiting for this week for a while. I cannot wait to watch these drivers go around in person at Chicagoland. Another first track for me. I cannot wait.
Enjoy the heat, Wyatt. It's gonna be extremely hot.
Oh, I believe it. So it was at Nashville too when I went 21.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
that's why I blame it on you, Wyatt, for bringing the heat up here. Because both me and Elijah are sweating.
I was about to say, plus I'm in Oklahoma. I'm used to heat, and I was just in El Paso for a work trip. I'm used to the heat.
I don't like the heat. I don't know about Elijah, but I don't like the heat.
I love the cold. I absolutely love the cold.
But yeah, I am really excited. Like, this was one of the race weekends where I was excited for the most. Like, San Diego, was I excited? Yeah, but I was more curious for San Diego because I was not knowing what to expect. Chicagoland Speedway on 4th of July weekend, and being underneath the lights and being a nighttime or like a day, dusk, nighttime situation.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I'm excited. I am freaking excited.
I am just as excited as the both of you are. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and put a bookmark on this episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening to this episode. Well, if you're watching this on Spotify or listening to this on Spotify or watching this on the Gamers Talk NASCAR YouTube channel, please go ahead and do us a favor. Hit the follow button over on Spotify, and also in the process, come on over to YouTube and be sure to hit the subscribe button on the Gamers Talk NASCAR YouTube channel, so that way you don't miss future episodes every Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on both YouTube and Spotify. On behalf of Slifer, Nathan Stapleton, and as well as Wyatt Walker, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out, and we'll catch you guys on the very next episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR.
Thanks for listening to tonight's episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that follow button so you don't miss a future episode throughout the NASCAR season. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.